Hey everybody, sometimes when we are dividing two numbers, we have to add more than one box. This is an example in which we're going to have to add more than one box to get a decimal and no remainder. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my long box. I'm going to draw a little bit longer this time because I don't know how many boxes I'm going to have to add. I know I need two boxes to start off with, one for a 6 and one for a 1. And we're going to see how many 8s go inside each of the boxes. All right, so my first problem is how many 8s will go into 6? If you look at the 8 row on your multiplication chart, do you notice that all of the numbers are bigger? What number do you remember we put on the top and the bottom of this box since it does not work? I hope you remember it was 0. 0 times 8 is 0. We subtract. 6 minus 0 is not 0, it is 6. So take that 6 and put it in the next box. All right, now my question says, how many 8s go into 61? Look at your 8 row on your multiplication chart. What is closest to 61 without going over? The number that's closest from on my multiplication chart should be the same on yours as well, is 56. And that was 7 times. 7 times 8 equals 56. Now we need to go ahead and subtract. Instead of borrowing, I'm just going to count up. I'm going to start at 56 and count up until I get to 61. So I have 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. I got 5 full fingers. So if I subtract, I have 5 left over. Now, I can't use or write my answer as a remainder today. Instead, I'm going to have to write it as a decimal. I'm going to add my decimal to the top, right above my line. Add another box, and first number I have to put it in is a 0. Then I bring my 5 up from the last problem to make 50. Now I've got to determine how many 8s go into 50. Look at your 8 row on your multiplication chart. What is closest to 50 without going over? I see that the closest number without going over is 48, and that is 6 times 8 makes 48. Now I need to subtract. Instead of borrowing, I'm just going to go ahead and count up from 48 to 50. I have 48, 49, and 50, which is 2. I didn't get 0, so I'm not done. Instead, I need to go ahead and add another box. The first number I put in the box is 0. Then I have to go ahead and bring my 2 up from the last problem. And now my question says how many 8s go into 20? Look at your multiplication chart. How many 8s will go into 20? Closest number in your 8 row to 20 is 16. And that made 2 8s, because 2 times 8 equals 16. Let's go ahead and count up from 16 to 20 again. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I got 4. Oh no, still have a number down here that's not 0, so I need to add another box. First number I put in the box is 0, and I go ahead and carry my 4 into it. Now it says how many 8s go into 40. Look at your 8 row on your multiplication chart. What's closest to 40 without going over? Yes, finally, I have 40 on my 8 row. Write 40 down, and that was 5 8s. So 5 times 8 equals 40. Subtract, and I have 0 left over. So my answer to 61 divided by 8 is 7. I'm not going to write the 0 in front. 0.625. Really, what I ultimately divided, our division problem would actually look like this. It would look like 61.000 divided by 8. And that is equal to 7.625. But 61 with all these zeros at the end is the same as 61 divided by 8. We'll do a few more example problems like this together before we expect you to do it on your own. Just please make sure you're writing these down in your notebook or on a piece of paper. That way you can reference them as notes. Talk to you again soon. Bye.